Okay, so this is one of these purchases where you buy something and you're quite awful about it, and then you realise, oh, I've made a mistake here. But then eventually you come back around and think, well, perhaps I haven't done too bad. Basically, I saw this guy that was selling some 8mm films, such as this, Westworld, which is in Super 8 colour and sound. And I asked him how much they were, and he says, oh, I'm not selling them separately, I'm selling them as a job lot with the projector. So I saw the projector as well and thought, oh, right, okay, well, you know, how much is it? And basically I bought it for about the equivalent of 2 gallons of petrol, which is not much. However, I made a mistake in that I didn't really appreciate what the projector was, but we'll come back to that. Anyway, this is an 8mm projector. Now, just to put things into perspective, when you go to the cinema, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at 35mm film. So each one of these frames here is on the screen for a 24th of a second. This one's RoboCop. Okay, and you can see the scroll down the side here is optical soundtrack. You've got perforations and things, but basically you go to a cinema and that's what you're looking at. So that's 35mm. Now, the next size down is 16mm, which is what this is. And basically the frame is considerably smaller. But it's, hang on, there's a camera on. Yeah, but it's very similar in that you still have, come on, focus in. You still have the optical soundtrack down the side, and you've got the frames there, and it's running at 24 frames per second. But this is obviously a lot cheaper variant than the 35mm, and this found use in places like schools and education and things like that. Television tend to produce on this stuff as well. And that's 16mm. But there was a lower version, and that's what this is. This is 8mm. And by the time you get to 8mm, the frames are genuinely quite tiny. Yeah, I mean they are small. There we go. And basically this is quality is barely good enough for showing in a house in front of a handful of people. But even so, even at this small size, it was a hideously expensive thing to get into. And as you can see, this spool of film here, which will not have been cheap for Westworld, runs for just 17 minutes. And as it says, it's got selected scenes. So if you wanted to have an entire movie, you're probably going to need 6 or 7 of these big old spools in order to watch the film. And like I say, they would not have been cheap. And also they were very delicate as well. They tended to scratch and weren't very good. So anyway, those are the films, and there's an issue with the films, but I'll come back to that in a second. What I'm going to go on to now is the projector, because being Super 8 sound films, I kind of assumed that this would be the projector to show them on, but it's not. It's just a standard Super 8 silent projector, and what's more, it only runs at 18 frames a second, which is not going to be able to play these at the right speed. And to compound things, the bulb was gone as well. Now, I had a projector and I pulled it out and I thought, oh, maybe I'll watch the films on that. But when I checked the projector out, unfortunately, where it had been stored, the environment had got to it and it was just beyond repair. So basically, I'm stuck at the moment with this silent projector without a bulb, which is where this comes in. So I bought this bulb and they still appear to be available. So since I've never tested this projector, I think what I need to do now is put the bulb in and just see what the projector does. Okay, so here we go. Try and do this one-handed. Never works well. Okay, there we go. And then we can remove it from its polystyrene crate. That gets us to there. Right, so it's a 1400 model. It's dual because it there's two types of 8mm. There's Super 8 and Standard 8, and this, as far as where, will do both. And it's zoom because it's got a zoom lens on it. So if I remove that, we can see the basics of it. So this is where I got confused, because I saw things like this and thought, oh, that must be the speaker. Didn't look into it, did I? So you got play. I'm guessing that's stop. Or is that bulb? Well, that'll be bulb. So it'll be play with bulb, and then fast forward. I'm guessing. That's for doing the frame position. Don't know what that's for. 18 and whatever that symbol means. And you've got a switch here for going between Standard 8 and Super 8. Right, these films, as far as we were, Super 8, so we'll leave that over there like that. Okay, this cover comes off here. And very, very simple mechanism, I'm sure you'll see. There's basically a cam in here which goes up and down, operating the thing that moves the film through the projector. If you've seen the one with the 16mm projector, it had feed gears and what have you. This doesn't, it just relies on the film being pushed through by brute force, really. Still none the wiser what that's all about. Now the bulb's at the back, and the bulb shines through this sort of like prism idea. So the bulb shoots towards the camera here, hits the prism, and then goes forward through the gate, through the lens, and out. So it's a very, very simple thing. But the bulb is obviously in the back. Okay, so here we are on the business end of the projector. There's really not a lot in here. There's a synchronous motor with a fan attached, which is mainly there to cool the bulb, I believe. And then there's just a whole series of rubber belted whatchamacallits, which do appear to be in reasonable condition. And then there's a belt there which is slack, which I'm guessing one of the buttons on the back, in the front of the machine, will activate to do whatever it needs to do. Cross that bridge when we get to it. This is obviously where the bulb goes, which is fair enough. And over here we have a transformer. The bulb that goes in this is 12 volts, 100 watts. I believe that having low voltage bulbs gives a better light. Yeah, okay. So all I've got to do now is hopefully put this bulb in. So this is the bulb. As you can see, it comes with its own reflector. The actual bulb's in there. Now I don't know just how careful I've got to be with this bulb, but I'm taking no chances. I'm not getting any grease on it. So basically I've just got to put that into there now. Well, that proved to be quite finicky. I've just noticed that actually behind the bulb you can actually see the shutter. So as that goes round, you see this big black thing gets in the way of the light. See, so there the light will be off, and as it comes around, then the light will come on again. And obviously this is geared to the little prong thing that moves the film backwards and forwards, so it all stays in sequence. Is it actually quite a simple yet actually quite clever design? I quite like it. It's yeah, it's been nicely thought out. Right, okay, time to power it up. Okay, the spare room is beginning to feel quite small at the moment. I want to fiddle my way around it, but anyway, here we go. So I'll plug this in, start. Oh well, it's running. Okay, it's off. Oh, I can see light. Ah, right, okay. So when it's plugged in, it's basically sitting in standby mode. So it's got the bulb's running on very low power, and no doubt warming up. Let's try this Dracula film on in this now. Oh. I think this one is silent as well. So hopefully all be well. Right, so it looks like the film's got to go around there, and then it goes. This is Super 8, isn't it? Yeah, this is Super 8, and then it goes in there. Switch the motor on, and there she goes. And the film comes out the other side. Oh, and it traps itself. So I should, in theory, have a picture on the screen now. And oh, I've got something, but it's very out of focus. How does that work then? Where's the focus? Oh, there's the focus. So that is a very, very dark image. And if I take it one stage further, what happens? Oh, it just stops. But it proves it does work. Right, so what I basically found out is that that's the ordinary player mode, that's stop. That must be fast forward, stop, rewind, stop, play backwards. This does freeze frame, but what's odd is it can do, I don't know how it manages to do freeze frame without burning the film through. That's something I'll have to investigate. This is basically like where the frame is in the picture, and then you've got the focus and you've got the zoom by twisting this. And it's very, very simple. Now, if you remember the 16mm projector, it had cogs to do the feed, but on this it just relies on this stringy loop to pull the film through. The tape spool automatically captured the film, which was quite good, so I didn't have to do anything there. So literally you just push the film in the top, it threads itself through and it wraps itself onto the back straight away. Oh, I've just realised here we've got a thing for splicing the leader. So it's the right shape to go through this automatic mechanism. It's just a shame that it's only 18 frames per second and there's no sound. So that's going to have to be a bridge that I cross in the next video, so that hopefully I can watch some of my 16mm sound films. Well, I've got it half apart, and it definitely looks like this is the lens that's causing me the trouble, but I don't know how to get that one out. Well, I found the offending element. It's very frosty. If I can get it to focus any better, so I'm not sure I can get it to focus any better. Yeah, it's got all sorts of weird stuff on there. So let's see if I can clean it up. Okay, I've had a go at cleaning it. I'm not going to say how I've cleaned it because I'm sure everyone will tell me I've got it wrong. But yeah, so I'm going to try and reassemble it now. Well, to my surprise, I've got it back together. I don't think I've messed up too bad. Still seems fairly clean through there. this is inside the projector, and what's happening is this motor is spinning for 3 or 4 seconds and then stopping turning, and it's just buzzing. And I've had a look at this capacitor, motor capacitor, and it appears to be pretty much dead short and not actually holding any charge. So, and that sits in there like that. So what I'm guessing is that this has failed and it's not giving me a phase shift on the motor, and that's why the motor's not spinning, which is a shame because it was running and I had a picture on the screen, everything, and then it just stopped. So I need to buy one of these. Okay, so it has arrived. It's good. Is it the right one? Let's have a look. 8 microfarads. Yeah, 450 volts AC. Yeah, that should. Okay, so the capacitor's in. Still on 240 volts. That's good. Here we go then. Let's see what happens. Nothing so far. Oh, we've got some lights on. That's good. Right, so I'm just going to switch it on to run and see what happens. Yes! We have action. How do we get the light to come on? Right, so the light's not working. Right, so that's the next issue, the light's not. Here's the meter, and it looks like this bulb is open circuit. So when the capacitor went, it must have overvoltaged it or something. Something's happened. Anyway, right. Got one of the other projectors. Let's see if I can take that out. Well, that appears to be working, I think. Bit of Yule Brunner there.